नमस्कार। डॉक्टर के SCFI हार्ट केयर फाउंडेशन इंडिया की राउंड टेबल एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट में हमारे सभी एक्सपर्ट्स का, हमारे व्यूअर्स का स्वागत है। और जैसा कि हमारे सब व्यूअर्स जानते हैं कि संडे को एवरी संडे ये राउंड टेबल 12 to 1 होती है। इसमें हम एनवायरनमेंट के, पोल्यूशन के, क्लाइमेट चेंज के बहुत से डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट जो है हम सिलेक्ट करते हैं और उस पर अभी है डिस्कशन जो है डिटेल में। और उसके बाद फिर हम लोग कुछ करते हैं कि इसके जो कंसेंसस स्टेटमेंट एक उसका होता है और उसके बेसिस पे। और दूसरी ये कि हमारा जो राउंड टेबल होती है ये लाइव होता है प्रोग्राम, और इसके यूट्यूब और में आप डॉक्टर के यूट्यूब चैनल में जाके देख सकते हैं। तो बहुत से लोग यंगस्टर्स हैं और जो बहुत लोग हैं इसको देखते हैं दोबारा से, और बहुत सी अवेयरनेस और लर्निंग होती है। तो हम लोग इस डिफरेंट आज जो हमारा टॉपिक है बहुत ही करंट इम्पोर्टेंस बहुत ही इसकी है। दिस इज आज का टॉपिक है इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल EV पॉलिसीज, इसमें इम्प्लीमेंटेशन एंड एनवायरमेंटल चैलेंजेस, ये हमने जो है टॉपिक लिया हुआ है। और जस्ट टू आपको रिकैप कर देते कि लास्ट जो हमारा टॉपिक था, हम लोगों ने चैलेंजिंग इन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ क्लाइमेट एक्शंस कमिटमेंट मेड ड्यूरिंग COP26, ये हमने डिस्कशंस किए लास्ट अबाउट 2-3 मीटिंग्स में। और उसमें जो हमारे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कमिटमेंट्स किए थे, पर्टिकुलरली जो हमारा टारगेट है किस तरह होना चाहिए, ग्रीन जो हमारी कितनी ग्रीन एनर्जी और रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का टारगेट क्या होना चाहिए, किस तरह से हमको अपने ऑफसेट करने चाहिए हमारे जो भी ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस हैं, और नेट जीरो का क्या टारगेट है। ये हमने बहुत से पॉइंट्स इस पे डिस्कस किए। और इसमें जो हमारे कमिटमेंट हैं कि आई थिंक इंडिया इज ऑलरेडी फेयरली डन। जो पेरिस कन्वेंशन था पहले 2015 में जो COP21, उसके बाद भी हम लोगों ने जो भी NDC का था, नेशनल डिटरमिनेंट जो कंट्रीब्यूशन, उस पर भी बहुत अच्छा काम किया और एज कम्पेयर टू अदर कंट्रीज। और इसमें भी आई थिंक होप सो विद द इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ ऑल द स्टेक होल्डर्स एंड द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स एंड ऑल द अदर नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, ये जो कमिटमेंट ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कमिट किए 5 पॉइंट्स, और उस पर हमने डिस्कशंस किए। और हमारा पर्टिकुलरली जो फोकस टू सोलर एनर्जी और इसमें और अदर फॉर्म ऑफ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी पे है, और उसमें विद द एक्टिव इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ द ऑल द स्टेक होल्डर्स इन द नॉट ओनली इन अर्बन एरिया एंड रूरल एरियाज। और हम इस कमिटमेंट्स चाहे सोलर का हो या और कोई विल कर पाएंगे। तो ये हमने डिस्कस किया लास्ट पॉइंट, और इसका एक कंसेंसस स्टेटमेंट जो है फाइनल जो बनेगा, हम सबको मेंबर्स को भेजने के बाद उसको गवर्नमेंट को भेजेंगे। आज के टॉपिक की जो बात करते हैं, आज का टॉपिक तो जैसे मैंने बताया कि सभी लोग जानते हैं कि इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स आर ऑन द स्ट्रीट्स। सभी लोग कुछ मॉडल्स आ गए हैं। बिकॉज क्यों है इम्पोर्टेंस? क्योंकि दे डोंट पोल्यूट। द क्लाइमेट क्राइसिस जो हमने लास्ट वीक में डिस्कस किया और जो अभी रिसेंट COP26 में है, दिस इज ऑल्सो ए की फैक्टर इन द परचेज। जो आज सबको क्लाइमेट चेंज कमिटमेंट्स हैं उसके बेसिस पे दे आर पीपल आर गोइंग टूवर्ड्स, दे आर परचेजिंग दैट। इलेक्ट्रिक कॉस्ट इज लेस देन फ्यूल, दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर, क्योंकि जो सेविंग इन द रनिंग कास्ट, सब लोग जो है इजली, अगर कई लोग अफोर्ड नहीं कर पाते हैं पेट्रोल वेरिएंट एंड जो डीजल से व्हीकल्स हैं, तो ये आई थिंक इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कॉस्ट इज जो लेस देन फ्यूल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर। डिपेंडिंग ऑन दी स्टेट पॉलिसीज, अलग अलग स्टेट्स के अलग अलग पॉलिसीज ऑलरेडी अनाउंस्ड हैं। Buyers can get tax benefits and subsidies.
Dr. Anil,
yes, sir.
Sorry for interruption. Actually, the couple of other people are there from Tamil Nadu. They don't understand English. So for this week and next week, when they are joining, I humbly request all the members to speak in English.
Okay, sir. Okay,
thank
sir.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Definitely, sir. But in between, some words may be Hindi. No. I mean, just
not an issue. Mr. Madi Elilarasu, he is one of the director of the company.
Okay, sir,
for EV electric vehicle retrofitment. They have a unit in Pondicherry and they are having offices all over India. So yes, he has joined. So okay, this is a request from my side.
Yes, sir. Definitely we'll do that actually. So auto industry has also responded very well, because we have seen from all Tata Motors to Mahindra, or from the Hyundai to Audi, and all the different company, they are very well coming in the new with the new models in the market, and they can run more than these new models. They can run more than 400 kilometers in one charge. So and as per the recent अभी जो हमारे Union Minister of Environment नितिन गडकरी जी ने, they have given some statement, and in the some forum, whether as per him, within 2 years the cost of EV will be as par with the petrol variant, and GST, because only is 5%, and the cost of lithium and batteries also declined. So definitely my just to want to say that the people are just to opting more towards the electric vehicles. They are coming towards that, but we have to create more awareness and with the people. But main important questions comes to where to charge them. That is also how to service them, and the charging infrastructure, particularly on highway and things like these are the various important questions. Replacement of battery cost, if you want to replace the battery, how much we have to pay that, and the disposal of battery. This is a very, as we are all environmentalists here, this is also very, very important questions. If numbers of battery going to be, and how much the battery life, and after the battery disposal, these are various questions. So these questions will discuss with but I think आज जो today मैं ये रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि हमारे साथ इसी सेक्टर के डॉक्टर रविंद्र कुमार इज द चीफ साइंटिस्ट इन CRRI, सेंट्रल रोड रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, मैं आज उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा. उन्होंने कोई मीटिंग, ही हैज नॉट चेयर्ड एनी मीटिंग, तो आई विल रिक्वेस्ट हिम टुडे टू चेयर दिस मीटिंग. ही डॉक्टर रविंद्र कुमार इज चीफ साइंटिस्ट इन द सेंट्रल CRRI. तो डॉक्टर रविंद्र, आप प्लीज अनम्यूट करके आई विल रिक्वेस्ट हिम यू टू चेयर दिस सेशन, एंड वी कैन कंटिन्यू विद ऑल आवर एक्सपर्ट दैट.
First of all, good morning to Dr. Anil Kumar for inviting me, and all honorary CPC Chairman Tyagi sir, Dwarkanath sir, A.K. Tripathi sir, Saha sir. This is the right time. The topic has been raised, and really it's a big challenge for industry, OEM, because right now, what is the scenario? EV we understand only from the transport sector, but the EV, if you think in broader perspective, it's not only for road transport. If you see the railways, if you see the waterways, if you see the airways, if you see manufacturing hub, so all where the EVs are there. So we have to see the holistic view of EVs. Also, the government has launched so many schemes. So how best the schemes are, and how much the target of the government is to, by 2030, we should have the EV penetration about 30% in the total vehicle fleet. So how best we can enter into that? As you know that our vehicle fleet, two-wheeler is the significant contributions, or two-wheelers contribute a lot, means out of around 50 to 60% traffic compositions all over the India. It's around two-wheelers. So we have to see how best two-wheeler can be given focus, and also affordability of the batteries, how best we can find out the different stakeholders, what are their requirements, what are the impacts of e-vehicles on the coming employment or economic growth. Also, we have to see from the consumer perspective, what are their challenges, how they are facing. Also, the company perspective, what are the challenges they are facing. Reuse or recycling of battery. As you all know that lithium-ion battery has become the largest source of for the charging, and also it is being used in the laptop and so many small gadgets. So how to recycle it? What are the best policies? Also, we have to see from demand side, like comprehensive mobility plans, we are preparing, many of the cities are preparing. So how best they are including it in their plan so that it can be implemented at local levels. Because now in the current time scenario, we don't have the comprehensive plan which states that at this point we should have the charging infrastructures. Although we look after all the traffic point of view or land use point of view, but we don't focus on the e-vehicle point of view. Other policies issues like we have to see the three-wheel market. That is also significant proportion which are running in different cities. Can we imagine like electric dream for electric cities? In many of the countries, they are dreaming for that this city is electric city. So whether can we dream like that, like for some sort of small area where we can create the city where all are running on the electricity. Battery swapping, as Dr. Anil has said, that one of the one of the best way, but what are the consequences, what are the challenges that we have to look into. And also the environmental challenges, like what are the batteries are there and how best we can recycle it, reuse it, and end of life management, that is an important part, how we can best use our ecosystem. And also when we dump any batteries anywhere, there are risks in dumping. So all these are issues which are related with the EVs. And apart from that, yes, government tax incentives, how best they are going to give this. And so we have to look into the all aspects, and major objective of our goal is like how best we can implement this in coming 2030, how best we can get our target, and how best we can come forward with the different ideas so that we can achieve the goal of the climate change and sustainability point of view. So thank you very much for giving me opportunity. Now I open this for other speakers to come forward with this and then share their viewpoints. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravinder, for chairing the session today, and also giving very, very important introductory all the remarks and his views on the current situation of the EVs. I now invite Dr. Partosh Tyagi ji, sir, to we will invite other experts, but first I request Sri Partosh Tyagi ji for his views on this subject. Tyagi, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Anil Kumar, and greetings to all present here. In the last Sunday's meeting, I mentioned that if possible, industry could introduce a solar panel at the roof of automobiles. And as most of the automobiles in the cities, are parked outside, and particularly during office hours. And therefore, such an arrangement can be very helpful in keeping the batteries of electrical vehicles charged. Another alternative, costlier than what I have suggested, is that all housing estates, all people have a parking area very often outside their house, because garages are very few. And this parking area could be covered again with solar panels. And that will also relieve the electrical load to be generated for charging these vehicles. We must remember that although electrical vehicles do not pollute in the city where they are used, but pollution does occur at the place where power is generated to bring that power to charge them. And therefore, it is not totally free of pollution all over the country. It is probably providing a local relief. The problem of disposal of batteries and disposal of car bodies is present even now, because batteries are used in diesel and petrol vehicles also, and car bodies are being discarded because they have become 15-year-old or 10-year-old. And a very good policy needs to be brought up in order to make use of the material that can be used. You see, when you say a car has to be discarded, it is not its body because of which it is being discarded, it is engine because of which it is being discarded. So if a local part is because of which it is being discarded, then that local part should be possible to be replaced. And that will be much economical to the country. We must also remember that industry somehow tends to run towards profit rather than the community interest or country's economic interest. And I won't blame them because they are in business, and in business this is their motto. I don't think we can inspire them to behave more patriotically. They have to function for earning profits. So while these things are being taught, it cannot be left to the industry. It has to be taught in research bodies where the institution where metallurgy and metals are being dealt with in CSIR, they should promptly apply their mind how the materials in discarded cars can be best utilized. I think these are a few ideas that I wanted to place before you. I also think of hydrogen. It is an idea which is coming up faster than expected because it will beat every other alternative for obtaining energy. And although a lot of it will be required in refineries and large industries, but there will be a temptation to use hydrogen once it comes to a level where cost of generating and hydrogen is lower than the cost of generating electricity from various sources. Then I think even the cars will become hydrogen run cars rather than electric run cars. And this prospect, how it affects electrical vehicles industry, must be considered not only by the industry, but also by the government. And with this, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to express what I could.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very, very important. I think that charging by the renewable energy, that's very important. That points your last meeting also, you also emphasized this in today's meeting. And the government also, I mean, how to, even if it is going for EV, then we have to, the charging of the EV should be on, focus should be on renewable, particularly solar, that way. So it's very, very, you have very important point just to mention today. Definitely it will be part of our concern statement and recommendations. So now I request today our new Tripathi sir joined. I just to, before going to other members, A.K. Tripathi sir, I'll request him to Neeraj Tyagi, just introduce him, and then we can just ask. He can
Dr. A.K. Tripathi is chairman of National Safety Council Delhi chapter.
Yeah.
And he conducts various consultancy services and audits also. I think he must be online.
Yes, sir.
Tripathi sir.
Tripathi sir. सर अनम्यूट करेंगे आपको त्रिपाठी सर आई थिंक नहीं उनका हो रहा है तो आई रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर साहा टू डॉक्टर दीपांकर साहा त्रिपाठी सर yes yeah coming sir
yeah so good morning sir and really I am very happy that I got opportunity to be with this team in this forum. And I am grateful to Tyagi ji for inviting me timely. In fact, I am going to Bombay today for 10 days audit.
Okay, sir.
10 is 4:45. So time is a little tight, but really it is about 20 for me. And this topic is very new for me, in fact. So I am the Vice Chairman of Safety Councils at the time of Mr. Sangama, when he was our minister. So actually this I can consider as a learning for myself also, so that I can also
आपका वीडियो ऑफ है.
video of it.
हम्म. आपका म्यूट हो गया.
हाँ, म्यूट हो गया है. चलिए सर, डेफिनेटली अभी रहेंगे उसमें ज्वाइन है.
हाँ, अभी थोड़ी देर में फिर आप.
जी. तो मैं शाह साहब से, दीपांकर शाह जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि फॉर हिज व्यूज.
Thank you. Good morning to all. Good afternoon. We are in the afternoon. Thank you for again inviting me. I will start with the word that our chairman, my Annadatta, has said. Maybe it is a local solution, but it's not really a global solution. And all the time I believe and how India can participate in this program and what is indigenously available, that is important for us, because if we really want to achieve the sustainability goal, then we have to have our own traditional practices and solutions. And that is the challenge what I feel all the time. Because if you are going to copy other country and make a policy, that will not give us the result in the long run, because ultimately we have to survive in our own way. We cannot depend on other countries and all these things. Some of the aspect is charging of the battery, solar based, what our Tyagi Sahab has said is one of the solution, but solar is not available throughout the day. This is the greatest problem with the solar energy. And further, the photovoltaic cells are not being manufactured in India. This is again a concern for me, because what we can manufacture, that we need to focus. This is number one. Number two, the cobalt lithium. This is mining. This is mining industry in the Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, China. They are doing it. And this mining industry is a mining plus smelting is there. That means it is also produces sulfur dioxide in the environment. So one hand, we are really generating air pollution in the name of the EV vehicle, whether it is a local solution, but globally we are not safe. We are releasing, and we are encouraging other countries to go for more mining and more smelting. That means those will go to our atmosphere and make us ill. This is another aspect that I wanted to tell. Then the customerism. EV, we have to have a country benefit, not customerism, because EV vehicle lifespan is maximum 5 to 6 years. And after that, this vehicle is to be discarded, and there will not be resale value, because it is a box only and nobody is going to do it. And until and unless we have a sound recycling policy, it is not going to succeed. It will be a nightmare for us. It's not possible to manage all these things. And these 50%, the battery, these EV batteries are more water intensive. The cleaning of lithium and cobalt is more water intensive. Even the total, it has been estimated in the world that more than 50% water requirement as compared to the conventional engine system. So one hand, we will be water intensive. Other hand, it will be air pollution. Third thing, it will be mining. The mining has there are studies about the mining. There are local leachate problems over there. So in looking into all these things, we need to see what is our policy and how far we can go with this policy. This is the thing just I wanted to submit at this point. Let's listen to from the other speakers and experts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Saha. You have raised these important questions for debate, actually. But we have to compare, I mean, both the things, how, I mean, in a tabular form, and then we can decide which way to go. I mean, what are the more beneficial that way. I mean, that's a very important point, but we have to analyze as a researchers and the other institutions. So more environmental angles also, and the economic angles also, and also the kind of pollution as compared to diesel and petrol, and with the pollution with respect to the like battery manufacturing, battery replacement, battery disposal, I mean, end of life, things like, so we have to compare, I mean, both the things, and then we can decide which is more beneficial. That's a very, very important point to raise, and definitely, thank you, sir. Definitely. So I request Dr. M. Dwarkanath, our colleague, the Department of Environment. Also, he was the member secretary, Pondicherry Pollution Control Board. So I'll request him, then we can invite his friend, Matthew Hazel.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Anil, for giving me this opportunity. And this is a very important topic as mentioned by everybody. Of course, Mr. Paritosh Tyagiji has put forth his point of view, and Mr. Saha has put his counterpoint of view. But it is for us to take a comparative evaluation. Everything, if you burn anything, ultimately gases will come, or particulates will come. Which is the better evil we have to choose? When technology is always evolved like that only, and solar as well as electrical vehicle is also a evolving technology. So we need to give some time so that the technology will evolve and mature. So that being the case, thank you very much. And you know, one important aspect, since I had been in touch with this particular company for technically and professionally for some time, and Mr. Mananathan is here. He is the founder, director, and former NLC engineer. And then he has founded this company called Manatech. What they do importantly is they put time, effort, and money and energy on R&D. That is very important. Even though it is a very small company, they manufacture the vehicle probes for testing the automobile exhaust. They all over India, they all pollution control board or transport department have their probes only. It is Manatech manufactured in Pondicherry, or otherwise it is exported to close to 52 countries or so. And he is there, and they have recently been approved by ARAI for retrofitment of existing autos with electrical vehicle. So this is an important point when Government of India is stressing upon circular economy and the recovery of steel and all other recoverable material from automobile sector. This point, the present e-vehicle policy does not include retrofitment of existing vehicle. This is one. Even various state government has announced subsidies for the vehicle retrofitment, so on. But in nowhere the policy, it is more specifically applicable to the existing vehicle retrofitment. So with this small introduction, I also would like to listen to all the experts. And can I ask Mr. Mananathan to speak a few words, Dr. Anil?
Yes, sure. That's right.
Dr. Mananathan sir, you can unmute yourself and show your face also to everybody, and you can say some opening remarks. Okay. Mr. Mananathan.
Thank you, Dr. Dwarkanath, for introducing me to this eminent group of scientists. It was very, very interesting to hear the introductory remarks and other subsequent comments. All of us are talking about pollution, and our Prime Minister has set a target of 2070 as the date for zero carbon in India. My only recommendation or observation will be, when we encourage the new electrical vehicles or new vehicles coming into the road to be electrical, which is having no pollution at all, we can also convert the existing huge lot of vehicles. For example, there are around 50 lakhs of auto rickshaws, and I do not know, on many lakhs of two-wheelers, trucks, buses running on the roads. Particularly auto rickshaws contribute for 15 to 20% of the total pollution. And everybody has been thinking conversion may not be viable or conversion is not possible. But today what happened, many companies have entered, including our company. And it is very good that the government of India has approved retrofitment in their policy. And we have also retrofitted, and we have very successfully converted the auto rickshaw, which is one of the highest pollutant on the road, got the ARA approval. And for the last 1 year, we are running that vehicle. It's extremely doing well, no pollution at all. Like this, all other four-wheelers can also be converted. If this is done, maybe instead of 2070, we can achieve 10 years earlier. If within 10 years, if all the vehicles on the roads of the country could be converted into electric, the target date can come much earlier. That is one point. Number two, we need not scrap even a good auto rickshaw. Even after about 10 years, the steel body and all, they are not going to get spoiled. And presently we are going to scrap them just because they are polluting. You remove the engine, you put an electric motor, and the body is always there. Therefore, a poor country like our growing economy like India need not waste so much of steel, because steel is very, very scarce today and it is very, very expensive. Therefore, the government of India policy should, previously, I think it was in FAME 1, they were giving some subsidy for retrofitment. Subsequently, since there were no takers, they removed it. Today, a lot of people have come for retrofitment. I think it has to be considered again, encouraged heavily, so that the existing pollution can be brought down from, for example, today, per day, around 5,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide is being pumped by auto rickshaws alone. You know about it. And 220 metric tons of nitrous oxide and 70 metric tons of particulate matters. All these things are being pumped into the atmosphere. And once it goes to atmosphere, we cannot call this as local anymore, because it is going to be global, the global warming. And already we have started to face the problem of it. Therefore, my suggestion will be, Government of India should encourage retrofitment without compromising on the quality of the vehicle. The vehicle should pass, otherwise by IRA. Okay. With this small note, thank you very much, and you all can proceed further. I would like to hear the experts' view now.
Yeah,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Manan,
Yeah.
just
Thank
I
you.
have one question from Mr.
Yeah.
Manan. So very good initiative, retrofitting. As you said, the government of India has given permission to retrofit, right?
Yeah.
Suppose being an auto rickshaw driver, how much it will be cost, and what is the safety point of view, and and what will be change in the registration scenario, like CNG also being retrofitted with the petrol vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, Transport Department has some policy, like they change the RC,
Yeah.
registration certificate with hybrid mode. So what are the consequences and how much it will cost and all things? Could you please explain a little bit so that further we can discuss with the ministry and other?
Here, just I would like to intervene. Mr. Mananathan, I had requested him. He wanted to listen to everybody for maybe this week and maybe subsequent week. He has all the details. If he agrees, I think maybe next week or so, he has a presentation on all the related issues, the cost and how it can be given, and how much the driver will have to invest, how much monthly return he will get, everything he has. Sir, I think you can make your comments now.
I think that will be better if he can make presentation next week. That will be,
Yeah.
I mean, then details and that.
Yeah, probably, briefly, I can tell.
Yeah.
It may cost around 1.75 lakhs. This looks to be very, very high, but even after paying the EMI, the driver can save nearly 7,000 rupees per month, even after paying EMI. That is one point, because of the very high cost of petrol. The petrol cost is per kilometer, it's around 4 rupees. But here it is going to be electricity only 50 paisa. This difference is a very huge difference in which he can pay back the EMI, whatever loan he gets, and also for his family, he can get around 7,000 rupees. That is the economics today. Why 1.75 lakhs is because if you want to run an auto rickshaw for at least 100 kilometers a day, you have to use around 150 ampere hour of battery, lithium-ion battery. It is very expensive. When we started the R&D, it was 80,000 rupees. That is 12,000 rupees per kilowatt. Unfortunately, it is 15,000 rupees per kilowatt. Though experts, even here also somebody told, lithium-ion battery cost will come down. It is not coming down. It is going up. That is one thing we have to be very, very careful, because we do not own lithium mines. All the mines are owned by China. When China's economy is going down, naturally the prices are coming up. Probably it's a very highly viable proposition for the drivers. It's a social cost also. Next week, probably I can give you a detailed information on the subject, but it's a very, very viable one. That's what you can take it from me.
Thank you, Vanathan, definitely. And I'll request if you next week you can make a small presentation.
Dr. Anil, should I ask the other director whether he wished to say? Mr. Madi, are you there? You want to add any point? He is also from same Manatech Industries.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Dwaraknath, for the invite to join this meeting. Good afternoon, everybody. It's definitely very nice to see such a nice panel of speakers, participants in this group. I'll make it very quick. I think our chairman, Mr. Mananathan, had spoken enough about the benefits, but exactly the same point that Shri Paritosh Tyagi had brought up. He was talking about the scrappage of the vehicle that would happen. You know, that's a new policy that has come up, and that's a required policy too. But that is mainly for the vehicles that are running on petrol and diesel, because after 5 years, 10 years, these vehicles are going to pollute a little bit more. So now with our retrofitment that we do, we actually remove the existing engine and the battery on the vehicle. So what would happen is there is going to be no more pollution. It is actually an electric vehicle and there is no more pollution. So it becomes as good as a new vehicle, just that the vehicle might look old. But from the angle of pollution, there is absolutely zero pollution. It's as good as a brand new vehicle. So the solution that we are thinking about with the retrofitment, which is not a hybrid, by the way, it is removing the old engine and the gearbox and replacing it with our motor and battery. That's going to make the whole scrappage idea redundant. But I think that's a very important point that the panel has to put forth to the government also, because scrappage policy is not actually applicable for electric vehicles at all, because there's going to be no pollution. That's one. And to touch upon one of the questions that was asked, very, very simply, we will have a much detailed set of facts that we can share. But the idea is, with one simple conversion that we can do, which will hardly take about 2 days, and followed by the RTO endorsements and all, for which we have got all the approvals. The investment of about 1.75 lakhs, this vehicle owner, currently he is spending about 4 rupees 50 paisa per kilometer, and he runs about 100 kilometers average every day. So he's spending about 450 rupees every day just on fuel alone, after which he has to make his profit. By this conversion, he is going to be charging his vehicle at home. And this vehicle at night, when he is parking at home, it can be charged at home in a simple 15 amp socket. it could take about 4 hours. His home EB connection will be used for that. And with that, he can do a 100-kilometer range. Now, this 100-kilometer range with this home tariff of TNEB, of the electricity board, we are talking about a running cost of about 50 paisa compared to 4 rupees 50 paisa. We are talking about a 90% savings that is possible. And that is how our chairman was just telling that he can have a saving of 7,000 rupees. Actually, he can save about 400 rupees every day. Into 30 days is about 12,000 rupees every month. And even after paying the dues for the conversion, he can save about 7,000 rupees. Now, this is with respect to petrol and diesel vehicles. The same can be done even on CNG, LPG vehicles. Even CNG and LPG vehicles do pollute. There is some amount of pollution that is caused by these vehicles, though not as much as the petrol and diesel vehicles. And in our case, even the LPG and CNG vehicle conversion approvals have been obtained from ARAI. And we are looking forward to, converting a lot of these vehicles and sharing our, contribution in this wonderful journey to cut down the pollution and make this planet much more nicer.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mani, for your remarks. And this is very nice that both of them have you joined, and then you have agreed to put forth this thing also. And thank you very much. Then we will like to hear more from you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, definitely, sir. And if they can make a small presentation, that will be good for, to have a more details, that particularly.
And one more thing, I adding to my own point, we had a discussion when I joined back from Pondicherry to Delhi government. I had a discussion with the transport department. I was asking them, we can conduct a R&D study or a survey as to see the life cycle analysis of the existing e-rickshaws. And the transport department, who is my close and personal friend, whom he just now retired Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Tarun Kapoor, what he told us, we absolutely don't have any person to even compile the statistics of how many vehicles are there, district-wise or zone-wise, and then how many are electrical, and what is the duration of each vehicle registration, and how much is the duration of the life of the battery, and where from they purchase and where the battery goes. I told them, even if it is a 10 lakh or 25 lakh study, Department of Environment will sponsor. Let us have a case study. You just discuss with me only the methodology. Then we can form the EOI. And then since my stay post Pondicherry tenure was very short, I had 2 or 3 discussions with them, but Transport Department disowned even to touch upon this issue. So as Mr. Saha told, Dr. Saha told, the disposal of the existing batteries in the e-rickshaws also is one of the worrying factor, which we have to take it seriously before the tsunami of e-vehicle is going to attack India.
Thank you, Dwarkanath sir.
Yeah.
Definitely, and we'll come back to you and other expert. Now I request our friend Dr. BMS Reddy from DPCC, and he's also looking the e-waste, I think battery waste also. Dr. BMS Reddy.
Namaskar ji. Thank you for inviting me for this valuable discussion. Though as of now, the amount of e-vehicles is very less, but with the initiatives of central government as well as various state governments, there will be a lot of, I think, end of the life for battery, lithium-ion batteries after 4 to 5 years, which we should be very serious to formulate a policy. But I had a detailed discussion recently with Tata Motors. They're also coming up with some e-vehicle. They have e-vehicle charging stations. They are manufacturing e-vehicles, and they have all the action plan to tackle these issues. But the recycling and disposal of these lithium-ion batteries, and to have a circular economy, and we should have recycling facilities to extract the lithium and use the said lithium for all the future vehicles. As looking at the world scenario of the lithium reservoirs, India is right now importing most of the lithium, and as one of the speakers said, that the China is the only country where these lithium reservoir resources are there. We are in the process with the advisor to the Minister for Environment. We are in the process of finalizing and this EV policy and recycling policy also, keeping in view the proposed battery rules of Ministry of Environment. As the retrofitment is concerned, Indians being a very cost-sensitive people, I think the cost should be kept at a minimum so that the people can always be educated to at least to get their vehicle retrofitted. But looking at this 10 years and 15-year time period for petrol and diesel vehicles, I think this is one of the right steps to encourage people to get their vehicles retrofitted, and looking at the cost effectiveness of it and environmental friendly nature, I think more and more companies should come in like this Mr. Manan to go for this one, I think, instead of scrapping the vehicles. And it's a right step, and the Government of India also should be requested to formulate, and they have already included, and they should give incentives to the industries to set up facilities to retrofit with the electric driven vehicles. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy.
Thank you.
Definitely will. I think we round. Yeah, Dr.
I would like to add,
Yes,
Dr. B.M.S. Reddy, a little bit.
Yeah.
As we are moving towards the EV, same time we are saving the crude oil import, and some of the rough figure is like more than 1 lakh crore is estimated by Council of Energy. We say that if we by 2030, if you move towards EV, we can save this much of crude oil import. So I think government has to look the balance between the EV promotions and how they can even discourage this internal combustion engine same time. And many of the countries, they are even penalizing the internal combustion engine, like especially during the peak hours. They have the system like if EV are coming, they will allow, and if internal combustion engine are coming, then they will have to pay. So some sort of policy decisions, like for parking also this can be done, and for already road tax are already waived by the government. And also, as the Dr. BMS said, that end of life management of lithium-ion battery, that is very important, especially in India. We have a small vehicle, two-wheelers, and that is power dependent. Battery are chiefly made of lithium, cobalt, nickel, iron, copper, aluminum. So life of EV ranges between 6 to 8 years, and need replacement when its capacity start falling down 80%. So we have to see that its chemistry, size, configuration, and purpose. So a lithium-ion battery can perform between 500 to 10,000 cycles of charging and discharging. So once they begin losing their capacity, so they have to manage the way they can be repurposed for secondary applications also. It's not only like just recycling, means secondary purpose also, and they can be sent for recycling directly also, and metal can be recovered. Like our Partos has told that there are so many metals, precious metals are also coming. So we have to see that how metal extraction is possible from that, so that we can gain more maximum out of this scrap. And also there are big recycling market. There are nearly 250,000 EV on the roads that uses the lithium-ion battery. And so out of this 80% are two-wheeler and three-wheelers are also quite high. So this recycling, we have to see that how best we can use in terms of the gaining the economy. So circular economy is also one of the big issue where all the things, once we recycle it, the material and metals which are coming from the EV, that we have to use very judiciously, and all the experts, they have to think in that manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravindran.
Thank you, Dr. Ravindran. Just before I forget, why don't you conduct a brainstorming and national level workshop on this CRRI?
Yeah, that's a
so that can be a policy precursor meet for evolving a policy which Dr. Reddy was telling. Dr.
Yes.
Reddy, nice to see you after a long time.
Thank you, sir. I think we have. Yes, sir.
मैं बता रहा था because the policy has already been formulated and it is being strengthened. So before the government takes steps, we do need to discuss these issues with the government, that which side we should go. To my opinion, single fuel policy is not good for the country, for any country, whether it is India or a city like Delhi. We did a blunder in introducing CNG. Whether you agree or don't agree, we are producing nanoparticles. And nanoparticles are more dangerous and more carcinogenic. On the other hand, it is only reducing black carbon and SO2 components. It is emitting lots of NO2 NOx because of high temperature combustion of CNG. And these, one hand, we are spending money for cleaning the air. Other hand, we are pumping the secondary particulates. Those are forming due to CNG exhaust, because it is getting converted into these nanoparticles. So we have to be very careful in choosing the policy. We should not drive by a single policy, and it will be problematic in the long run. It was my commitment. I told that the batteries, the way we have spoiled our environment introducing plastics, the same way it is going to create problem, because the only maximum 5% lithium batteries can be recycled. Just have given a quote from a study carried out in America. So this is.
Yeah, I've seen in the group. I've seen in the group. Yeah, that way.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sahab. I think we have just less between only few minutes. So the other expert we can take in the next week sometime, and because the time is very everybody is the Sunday lunch is maybe waiting. So I request, I think only if Ashish, you want to say anything? Ashish Gulati ji.
एक ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ आज भी हो जाना चाहिए.
हाँ, बिल्कुल सर. Ashish Gulati ji, want to say anything?
I actually thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I think it was very, very enlightening. And one of the issues that actually I started thinking is that we are all pushing electrical vehicles. But, Mr. Shah brought up a very interesting point, which is one of the better evils between the two. One is causing this mining and smelting issue, and the other one is causing pollution. And as rightfully said, are we actually resolving a local issue and bringing out a global issue? I think some of these points are extremely important for us to address. I know it's a very important point for electrical vehicles to be introduced, but I'm sure that there are other issues that are still existing there that needs to be looked at. But very interesting, very interesting conversation.
Thank you, Ashish sir. Definitely we'll discuss further in the next week. I request Vivek ji. Before I think Vivek ji, I just to request Dr. Ravinder to say any as a chairman remarks. Then we can request Vivek ji for his views and vote of thanks.
And a group photograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually we have very nice
कौन
discussion.
ले रहा है group photograph?
अभी हमारे वो सपना ले ली, सपना ले लेगी, everybody will सबको
So
अपना on कर देगी.
please all the participants switch on your cameras.
ये त्यागी सब आ गए, द्वारकाधीश आ गए, और क्या चाहिए?
बहुत दिन के बाद I am joining almost after a month.
Yeah. So Dr. Ravinder, final words, then Vivek ji, then group photos. Yeah.
Okay, so final, we have done very good discussion from Dr. Tyagi to Dr. VMS Reddy. All the speakers, they have really given their experiences